creating some of the most shocking and mesmerising cinema of recent times. Park Chan-Wook has directed Oldboy, which is part of the Vengeance trilogy, a remake of The Handmaiden plus Decision to Leave, which are amongst some of cinema's greatest films. It's 2026, and he's back with satire and shocks aplenty. So let's review this latest movie from Park Chan-Wook here on the Film Podcast. I've just seen No Other Choice, which is a Park Chan-Wook film. This is a story about a man who wants to keep his lifestyle, which isn't excessive and isn't ostentatious, but even so is under threat. The mortgage is due, the bills need paying. What's he going to do to keep his family happy? Some setbacks, let's call them that, cause him to take some desperate measures. And we descend into something interesting. A comedy caper and a murder mystery that we've already solved. Imagine getting an idea to get a job by eliminating the competition. Quite literally. It all starts with a pursuit, a plant pot on a high building, an idea to get a job in his beloved field, which is paper. So what happens? Why? How does this play out? And what does it all mean? Because it's Park Chan-Wook, which means it means something. So let's get out of here and let's talk about No Other Choice on our way home. It's Tuesday night, a fairly quiet night, I guess, out in the world, but the cinema was absolutely full of people. There was no seats anywhere. It was rammed with people all going to see No Other Choice. And one of the things about this film is it actually felt like it should have carried on. That moment happened and the credits came up and it was like, what, already? I think that's because it was so enthralling and so interesting and so gripping that I just didn't want it to stop. And I think that's quite amazing. And I think this film is quite amazing too. And I think Park Chan-Wook has made a fabulous movie here. I have just experienced No Other Choice. And it's like, well, it's another difficult one to talk about because it's got these moments in it that are just outstanding. And it's got these moments in it that are just bizarre. And it's got these moments in it that I just absolutely loved. You go and see movies, you sit there and you watch them, and usually a narrative unfolds and you can kind of understand where it's going to go. You can understand what's going to happen at the end. You know what I mean? That predictable thing. It's all going to be fine. The Hollywood idea of leave the cinema happy, that's what most movies conform to still in this day and age. Well, to be honest with you, most of the films I watch don't, but anyway, whatever. No Other Choice is most definitely a film where you sit there and you go through the entire film and you say to yourself, what the fuck is going to happen next? Where is this going to go? I've got no idea. And it's great to feel that. It's great to feel that about a movie. Emotions and storylines and narratives and everything else are usually spoon-fed to us. They're spoon-fed to us by filmmakers. What happens in No Other Choice, there's no way you can predict what's going to happen next. Absolutely no way. And for that, I absolutely love it. I loved it for that. There's a few other things that I loved about it as well. One of them being the performances. The performances in this are like outstanding from everybody. The kids, the dogs, the adults, everyone in this is super duper amazing. Park Chan-Wook has got form for these kind of satirical, how the fuck are we going to get through this kind of thing, these ideas that he has about society, about the society we live in. And this film is South Korean, right? It's described as a South Korean, dark, satirical comedy. And it's based on a book. It's based on a book called The Axe, which is written by an American guy, I think, or an English guy, a fellow that is not from South Korea. And you can imagine by the name The Axe what that book must be like when you think about the things that happen in this movie, No Other Choice. One thing you can say about this as well is that it's thoroughly entertaining. This is an entertaining film. And you can't say that about a lot of, independent cinema movies or alternative movies, the non-studio stuff. You can't say that about a lot of them because they're always deep, meaningful things. And I'm not saying this isn't deep and meaningful, but I'm saying that this is thoroughly entertaining, which is absolutely wonderful. The cinema that I mentioned earlier that was completely full of people, when a group of people are enjoying themselves and a group of people are intrigued by what they're seeing, when you get that atmosphere from people, you go along for the ride with them. It enhances the experience of seeing the movie. It never ever steps over the edge, it never ever goes too far, and that makes it perfect. Something like 28 Years Later, which goes too far, is utterly entertaining as well, but in a completely different way. This knows what it is, knows what it's trying to say. It says it so elegantly, yet so disturbingly. I mean, it's disturbing. It's not a horror film, right? It's not a horror film, but some of the things that happen in it are a little bit skirting on the edge of horrific. If you balance that with the satirical nature of this, then you essentially go, oh my lord, oh my goodness me, oh good lord. I'm excited. Films are exciting now. I can't believe all the stuff I've seen this year so far. It's all been amazing. I've said that in every review from the films that I've seen in 2026, but oh my god, it's true. So this is a spoiler-free review. I'm not going to give away anything about this film. I'm not going to go into anything in detail, and you're not going to have it ruined by me. And it's going to be difficult to talk about it for that reason. I think I can get away with stuff that isn't spoilery. Stuff that's in the trailer is the stuff that I can talk about. That's fine. I think the trailer gives away a little bit too much, but in all honesty, I guess it's quite good to show off what you might be missing if you don't go and see it. You know what I mean? So, let's talk a little bit about the story. Mansu is an award-winning veteran of a paper-making company called Solar Paper. He's worked there for a long time. He cut his teeth there, let's say. And the movie opens up with him shouting away. He's shouting away at some much younger employees. And he's shouting about the unfairness of letting people go, of firing people, of people who've worked in a specific place for a specific amount of time, just been treated like nobody, like nothing, and getting let go of. And they make references to an American company coming in and taking over and just getting rid of everyone. You know, he's quite well paid. He's bought his childhood home, a home that he loved, a home that has all those memories that you have from when you were a child. That's where he lives with his family. He basically lives in a sort of luxury, and he lives with his wife, Mi-ri. Forgive me for the pronunciation of these names. Forgive me now. His wife is a stay-at-home wife, a homemaker, if you want to call her that. But he's also got 2 children. He's got a son and a daughter, and 2 dogs, which I think I mentioned before. And his daughter is like, she is, I think she's, I guess she's about 6 or 7 maybe, and she's autistic, but she's a genius at the cello, and she's got this thing which just makes her love classical music. She's always listening to classical music. And his son is his stepson, and his wife, he's her second husband. And the stepson's about like, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16, something like that. Anyway, he loses his job. It causes him to freak out, let's say. And it causes him to not say anything about it either, because he's been there since he was extremely young, because he started his working life at that place. He's kind of lost. He doesn't know what to do. Eventually, he does tell his family, though. His wife is devastated by this. She has this lifestyle. She goes and plays tennis. She goes and does all of these fancy things that, you know, well-kept women do. Reminds me a little bit of The Housemaid in that way, but not either. Anyway, he confesses to his family that he's lost his job. Things have gone a bit wrong, and he vows to get a job in the paper-making industry in 3 months' time. He goes to like some employment course thing, and it's quite hilarious because they do this like face thing and mantra, you know, which is like, I will get a job, it will happen, I will get a new career, I will reset my life. And that is where he comes up with his plan. Well, I guess that's where the plan is born. That's where the plan emerges into the world. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But you know, I'll be honest, the family, including the pampered wife, she does step up to the mark. She goes off and gets a job working in a dentist or whatever, and kind of does contribute. They make sensible decisions. They get rid of the expensive cars, they get rid of the expensive dogs, they get rid of the expensive stuff that's causing them to not be able to keep up the lifestyle they used to have. And you know, it's all right, it's fine. And I think that sort of motivation and that support that he gets from his family, it sort of spurs him on to look for a new job. But he is stuck with the mantra that he's got to work in paper. And as you can imagine, in a world of emails, Kindles, and stuff that we see on screens all day long, the paper industry is not what it once was. And the competition for jobs like that is very, very stiff. So 13 months pass by, and it starts to get a little bit tricky. Everything starts to be a little bit, oh my goodness me. He's working in a supermarket, she's working in a dentist. How the mighty have fallen. But I think the message of that is quite interesting, because the message is essentially that if we're middle class, it's not going to take us long for us all to fall into that desperate pit of despair and doom. Because, yeah, you know, if the mortgage ain't getting paid, then the bank is going to be very, very fast to make sure they get their money. If the lifestyle you have afforded yourself because of your job is gone, then what do? The creditors are going to want their money back, and they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your lifestyle. They don't care how much you love your family. They don't care about any of the happiness that you might have. They're not bothered. They just want their money. I think this film emphasizes that. It's got the same vibe as, dare I say it now, oh my God, after all the controversy, The Salt Path. The Salt Path author. Oh dear me. But anyway, it's got the same vibe as that sort of everything's gone to shit kind of a thing. But it does it in such a different way than The Salt Path. The way that Park Chan-Wook sort of deals with this idea, deals with this losing everything situation, it's extremely inventive and it's extremely fun as well. The subject matter is dark. I mean, it is very dark. On an initial watch, you get hit with the comedy the most. I think that's what happens. I think the funny moments in it and the outrageousness of what's going on, that's front and center. But I reckon when you watch this more than once, when you watch it again, I think you're going to see another layer to it. And I think that other layer is looking at stuff from the aspect of the cruelty of what the lead character is doing and the measures that he goes to that exposes him as a character. If you stop and think, then you'll be like, hang on a minute, this is all a little bit immoral, isn't it? This is all a little bit, oh my God, this is all a little bit holy shit. And it really works because there is another layer of this that is telling us from that satirical standpoint, from that shocking standpoint, I guess, from that message that it's trying to give about society and the lengths we have to go to sell our souls just for the sake of a job, just for the sake of an income. That in itself is kind of what the fuck. Just like the stuff that he does. So Park Chan-Wook is an interesting filmmaker. His finger is on the pulse of society. It definitely looks like a lot of Park Chan-Wook's previous works are also saying very similar things. Let's pull over and let's talk about who's in No Other Choice. Okay, I'm stopped outside of Domino's, so I don't know what's going to happen there, but hopefully everything will be all right. Hopefully they won't notice that I'm sitting in the car talking to myself. But I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to you guys. It could get weird if the delivery man shows up, but so what? Whatever. Now, my thing is I'm shit with names. And these Korean films and these movies from other parts of the world create issues for me with saying names out loud. I'm just bad with names in general. Bad at remembering them and bad at saying them. This film has got Lee Byung-hun. He plays Yo Man-soo. He is the lead character in this film. He's the guy. He is the no other choice man. I think he's in pretty much every single shot in this film, and he's great. He is great. His wife, who is called Lee Marie, and she's played by Son Ye-jin. And I guess they are the anchors in this film, and the way that their relationship develops throughout the movie. I mean, they're married, right? They've been married for a long, long, long time. The way that their relationship evolves throughout this film is great. I mean, they are in love. I mean, they love each other a lot. They are very, very good together. They play husband and wife spectacularly well. And the dynamic between the two of them is another element that brings out the comedy in this film. You know, you'd believe that they were married in real life. It's just astonishingly good. I absolutely loved Lee Marie because, you know, she is the wife who's had to give up everything, who's had to give up that lifestyle And she's accepted it all. She hasn't gone and hated her husband. She hasn't done any of that kind of thing. And it's sort of all in his head. He must provide. He must do the thing for his family. He must keep his family going. He must get his family back to what they used to be. When in actual fact, she sort of accepts what's happened and she makes a plan. You know, she just deals with it in the most realistic way. She is fantastic. Absolutely one of the best characters in this film. Hilarious, poignant, moving and fun. Just really fun. I think this film is a collection of unbelievably great scenes held together with an absolutely enthralling narrative and an absolutely enthralling set of characters that you do not know what's going to happen next. I think that's amazing. The cinematography is stunning. Super, super stunning. You know, the colours of the forests and blah, 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 some of the scenes that we see there, just beautiful. Those stark yellows of the trees. Pretty much every frame in this, no matter what scene it is a work of art. So there's one particular shot, our lead character and his wife are on the phone to each other. Something's going on, they're on the phone. We kind of see this shot where it's almost like a mirror, right? One's holding up his phone and he's talking to his wife. And his wife is talking to him on the phone as well. They're making a video call. So they're holding the phones up. So they're kind of like this, essentially. The way it's framed, they're both kind of overlapping each other. And the phones are kind of on either side of the screen. And it holds it for quite a while. And they go through a whole conversation with that particular shot. And it's so gorgeous the way it's done. They're both in different places. And I watched it and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, wow, you know, look at that. The way it's lit, the symmetry happens. Even though it's two separate characters, it's just gorgeous. And there's loads of moments in this film just like that. There's loads of harrowing moments, as in like some of the icky stuff that does happen to people is so beautifully shot. You know, it looks so gorgeous. It's got all of those elements that you should love about cinema, about good cinema, about alternative cinema, I suppose. And it looks gorgeous. It really does. Okay, all right then. I think it's time to sum this up. So let's sum up No Other Choice. No Other Choice is a Park Chan-Wook film. And it's a Park Chan-Wook film that, well, I went into it with expectations. Like some other things that I've seen recently, those expectations were met. They were absolutely met. Maybe they were even exceeded. This is an odd film, though. It's a very strange film. And once you come to terms with the subject matter, once you come to terms with the black comediness of it, there's nowhere else to go other than be thoroughly entertained. Some of the scenes descend into farce, and they are fantastic when they do. Some of the scenes are quite shocking and harrowing. It's just a great, great film. I mean, it is. It's South Korean, so it's not in English. It will have subtitles if you can't speak South Korean. World cinema is another element to going to see movies that will open up your eyes, let's say, to something special. And I think No Other Choice is very special. I loved watching it on the big screen. Go and see it there. If you can see it available somewhere and it suits the time that you want to go and watch a movie, just go and watch it. Go and see it on the big screen because it is fantastic to look at. It's an entertaining piece of work and I loved every second of it. It's called No Other Choice and it's available pretty much everywhere. I say go and see it. Go and see No Other Choice because you'll love it. If you're a fan of all the other Park Chan-Wook films, then you've got another one that is a solid piece of work from him. And if you've never seen a Park Chan-Wook film, then what a place to start. No Other Choice is so great. So go see it, go enjoy it, and I'll see you again next time right here on the Film Podcast. Check out some of these other reviews, by the way.